Recollect the Nina Ricci scent business? The principal character of this video was the lovely model Ruslana Korshunova. She kicked the bucket at 20 years of age. Subsequent to tumbling from a window, this young lady's dead body was tracked down under a high-rise in New York. The authority variant is that she ended her own life. Yet, many individuals are certain that somebody helped her make this last stride. All in all, who could kill an effective model? Ruslana Korshunova's life resembled a fantasy. She was a prosperous model, dealing with catwalks in Paris, Milan, and New York. In 2005, she was named the principal revelation of New York Style Week. The young lady had interesting Slavic excellence, tall, thin, with a lovely face. However, her fundamental component was her extremely lengthy and thick hair. Consequently, she was known as the Russian Rapunzel. The young lady featured in ads for famous brands like Kenzo, Moschino, and Pantene. She likewise showed up on the fronts of Vogue and Ella magazines. However, her most huge achievement was going for a business for Nina Ricci's fragrance. In this video, the young lady seems to be a fantasy princess. She enters the castle and gets over a heap of apples to pick the organic product. Ruslana made her most appreciated dreams work out. She went all over the planet and brought in great cash for only one appearance on the platform. She got $5,000. Furthermore, she had a ton of such catwalks since she was overwhelmingly popular. Ruslana resided in an extravagance condo in Manhattan, where lodging is expensive. Furthermore, she could bear the cost of it on the grounds that, at 20 years of age, she had previously accomplished to such an extent. Be that as it may, this entire fantasy finished in a second. On June 28, 2008, the dead assemblage of 20-year-old Ruslana Korshunova was tracked down under the windows of her extravagance condo in Manhattan. Her passing was unforeseen for everybody. The police concluded that the young lady had made the last stride herself. Maybe she was unable to stand the upsetting work abroad, away from her family members and home. Nonetheless, many individuals were certain that her demise was not coincidental. There were numerous abnormal things for this situation. At the point when the police found Ruslana's body, her sumptuously lengthy hair was thoughtlessly trimmed off as though somebody had trimmed it off in a rush with a kitchen blade. What was likewise astounding was that Ruslana's body lay 26 feet from the walls of the structure. How is it that she could fly up until this point? Or then again, perhaps somebody helped her? Ruslana's mom was certain that her little girl was killed. In any case, who could do this? Prior to addressing this inquiry, how about we follow her lifeway on the grounds that many responses can be tracked down there? Ruslana Korshunova was a young lady from an unfortunate family. She was brought into the world in Russia. However, at that point the family moved to Kazakhstan. She is many times called a Russian model since she had extraordinary associations with this country. Her family frequently voyaged and had family members there. At the point when the young lady was 5 years of age, her dad kicked the bucket, and her mom needed to bring up 2 kids, Ruslana and her sibling, alone. It probably been a troublesome life. In this way, Ruslana saw her mom's model from youth, who endeavored to take care of her loved ones. The young lady comprehended that she expected to help her mom and bring in cash. Fortunately, she got an extraordinary opportunity early. At the point when Ruslana was only 15 years of age, Debbie Jones, an unmistakable displaying organization MODELS1 delegate, saw her and proposed to sign an agreement. Obviously, the young lady's mom was concerned that demonstrating was exceptionally perilous for a teen. In any case, when she went with her little girl to Paris and saw that the chiefs treated her well, she quieted down. This was an extraordinary opportunity to work on the family's monetary circumstance. In demonstrating, a young lady could bring in cash for her schooling and a phenomenal future. Subsequently, solely after completing school, Ruslana went to Europe and the USA, where she effectively filled in as a model for quite a long time. It should be conceded that, dissimilar to different models, Ruslana never loved parties and didn't utilize unlawful substances. She was diligent and dependable. In the nights, she sat at home, watched films, composed miserable sonnets, and headed to sleep early. Her mom didn't have anything to stress over. Companions and colleagues likewise portrayed Ruslana as a quiet and unobtrusive young lady. Maybe she was even excessively gullible and trusting. Indeed, even at school, she had extremely lengthy hair, which is the reason her cohorts derided her. In spite of her delightful appearance and outcome in her vocation, Ruslana Korshunova was especially troubled in affection. Obviously, she had numerous admirers yet couldn't meet the man of her fantasies. At some point, a youthful, guileless young lady went gaga for a rich man who, as per bits of hearsay, may be hitched. The tycoon prevailed upon her with his wonderful romance and costly gifts. Ruslana presumably longed for turning into his better half, yet the man dismissed her. The young lady frequently called him, searched for gatherings, and composed love sonnets. However, he concluded they had no future. Ruslana's heart was broken. Be that as it may, this isn't motivation to take your life. We as a whole had comparative stories in our childhood. Consequently, something truly horrible occurred in her life, driving her to misfortune. For sure, the young lady before long met another attractive man, Vladimir Vorobiev. He worked for the preparation organization Rose of the World. The young lady thought she became hopelessly enamored, yet he wouldn't date her since he had another lady. The man proposed that Ruslana go to mental preparation in this organization. The makers of this instructional class vowed to stir the awareness, to bring in more cash, work on private connections, and accomplish your objectives. This sounds awesome. You ought to pay $1,000 for a 3-month preparing, and your entire life will change totally. You will have more cash, and individuals will begin cherishing and valuing you. Sadly, many individuals trust in such commitments. Ruslana Korshunova additionally did. She had monetary issues then, and her affection connections were not working out in a good way. Consider the possibility that the instructional class makes a difference. The young lady chose to go through preparing in Moscow with her companion, Ukrainian model Anastasia Drozdova, who had been partaking in this course for nearly 12 months. Ruslana was dazzled and quickly fell affected by the preparation coordinator, Vlad Norgorodtsev. It should be conceded that the strategies by which this association works are truly problematic. You might have known about the American Human Potential Association LifeSpring, famous during the 70s and 80s. It was shut and restricted because of its destructive strategies for work and the serious effect on the mind of the members. Notwithstanding, Russian partners chose to take the lessons of the LifeSpring Association as a premise. They made their school to foster human potential, called the Rose of the World. Like in LifeSpring, members are exposed to serious mental strain during the preparation. They need to do unbelievable, and in some cases in any event, embarrassing things, like removing their garments or affecting others in this preparation. Course members spent in similar space for a long time without food or water. As of now, they are placed into a daze when their mind becomes powerless and suggestible. In this state, members are convinced to pay increasingly more cash for new preparation. Many individuals are certain that Rose of the World isn't simply a business preparing, yet a genuine religion that obliterates individuals' mind. For sure, Ruslana acted peculiarly in the wake of preparing at the Rose of the World. She turned out to be more forceful and bothered and started to swear, which she had not done previously. Chief Peter Pomerantsev chose to make an examination about this questionable association. To do this, he requested the Russian writer from Novaya Gazeta, Elena Kostyuchenko, to penetrate there all the while, assuming a pretense of a member to make a report. The youthful columnist cheerfully concurred, accepting such preparation was innocuous and just impacted feeble and innocent individuals. so she concealed a camera and mouthpiece in her garments and went for the supposed preparation. Yet, following a couple of days, she saw a few peculiarities in her way of behaving. The young lady, who had forever been blissful and happy, out of nowhere, experienced extreme misery. At times, she started to overreact and causeless trepidation. She feared the dim and outsiders. She essentially failed to remember a ton of what occurred during the course. All she recollected was the means by which she was lying on the floor and crying. All the other things in her memory was a major dark spot. Here, she discussed her cooperation in Rows of the World. They put us into a daze. While an individual is in it, his criticality is essentially diminished. This is a serious treatment, consistently for 12 hours. Sadly, you can't get back to your past state. You are damaged until the end of time. Also, you figure out how to live with it further. Youthful writer Elena Kostyuchenko, who was dependably doubtful about such preparation, needed to go to a specialist for help and spend over a month in a mental center. She was treated as expected for individuals who have experienced in cliques and groups. Elena was not even ready to finish her report. She talked about this experience just numerous years after the fact, as she had recently been stressed that data over her extreme mental state would influence her editorial vocation. In any case, her experience demonstrates how risky such courses can be. Indeed, even a negative writer endured to such an extent. What was the effect of this preparation on the credulous model Ruslana Korshunova, who genuinely accepted that this business preparing could assist her with working on her life? An intriguing and significant reality. Ruslana Korshunova's companion, Ukrainian model Anastasia Drozdova, who went with her to the Rows of the World course, likewise ended her own life a year after Ruslana's demise. Do you suppose this is an occurrence? After the passing of Ruslana Korshunova, the Rows of the World instructional hub was shut because of an embarrassment. In any case, its maker, Vlad Novgorodtsev, was certain he was not blameworthy. He accepted the model had died on the grounds that she had driven an excruciating way of life. Besides, when he responded to inquiries concerning his understudy Ruslana, there was not a drop of compassion, as would be natural for him, in view of the demise of a little kid, yet just outrage and bothering on the grounds that he needed to close the middle. Nonetheless, the man before long opened another instructional hub, which deals with similar standards, however has an alternate name. In the wake of preparing at the Rows of the World place, Ruslana got back to New York and started dating another sweetheart, 32-year-old imprint Kaminsky. However, this man had an exceptionally questionable standing and a dull past. He was captured 2 times for having a weapon without a permit and having restricted substances. He likewise separated from his ex in a major embarrassment, and the court prohibited him to go close to his ex's home. This, as of now, recommends that he was a forceful individual and equipped for the most horrible demonstrations. Mark Kaminsky called himself an extravagance vehicle seller. However, it worked out that this was only a cover. He was selling something else altogether, truth be told. He was engaged with a productive business where rich individuals tracked down model lady friends. Imprint's errand was to see as a wonderful model and set her up with a mogul. Imagine a scenario where he dated Ruslana not on the grounds that he genuinely cherished her, however, to include her in escort administration. Maybe, before her passing, Ruslana comprehended the reason why Imprint dated with her. The young lady was extremely guileless, practically like a kid, and nobody in the large city could uphold her in troublesome times. Neither her folks nor her companions. Moreover, it worked out that before her passing, Ruslana called Imprint, and they talked for quite a while about something. As per Imprint, they were simply talking about the forthcoming party. In any case, imagine a scenario where he offered her to serve some rich man. It is likewise known that the prior night, Ruslana invested energy not with Imprint, but rather with her ex Artem. Maybe she looked for his help since her ongoing beau hurt her. Anyway, assuming Ruslana made the last stride herself, she had critical purposes behind this. The Los Angeles Times composed that the demise of the Russian model may be associated with her frantic desire to split away from the hands of the Paris, New York, Moscow mafia. The paper composed that the mafia controls youthful models and makes them render escort administrations to affluent people. In any case, Ruslana's mom doesn't completely accept that her little girl could end her own life. The lady asserts that the model had many designs for what's in store. Ruslana should commend her 21st birthday 4 days after her demise. She educated me regarding her work issues about a year prior. She said that she needed to stop the demonstrating business. However, all was well with her as of late. Assuming she had issues at work, she would have told me, Ruslana's mom, Valentina Kutenkova, said. As per the model's mom, the displaying office's workers might have been keen on the young lady's passing. Ruslana had objections against the demonstrating organization and needed to request cash from them, which she supposedly didn't get. The young lady would sue the demonstrating organization and document a claim for a portion of $1 million. Be that as it may, writers couldn't track down the case in court. Maybe it was only her expectations. The young lady's mom is additionally frightened that the young lady's body was excessively far from the structure. This is Weblogger's message about this case. I've been to New York and saw reports about dropping out of windows. Their bodies tumble down not a long way from the mass of the structure. Be that as it may, the young lady tumbled down in the center of the street. It is difficult to leap that far. Somebody solid could have pushed the young lady through of the window. Maybe the young lady didn't drop through of the window by any means. Imagine a scenario where her body was tossed out of the vehicle onto the street. In any case, the police don't have confidence in these forms. The truth of the matter is that no indications of a battle were tracked down in Ruslana's condo. The attendant of the house where Ruslana resided said that nobody came to see her upon the arrival of her demise. There was likewise no unfamiliar biomaterial under her nails. No liquor or unlawful substances were tracked down in the young lady's blood. The police report expresses that Ruslana cut the development network on her gallery on the 9th floor, crept through the opening, and arose onto a close by working under development. Then, at that point, she climbed 3 stories higher, strolled further into the structure, took off, and serious a deadly demonstration. Family members and companions are astonished. How on earth is that even possible? All things considered, she was dependably scared of levels and didn't actually go onto the overhang. Nonetheless, remember that she went through strong mental treatment at the Rose of the World, where she is educated to battle fears and do things she normally doesn't do. This could give the young lady more fortitude. For sure, numerous CCTV cameras are there, and the police saw the fall. That is the reason they demand such a great amount on their form. Family members and companions set forward various suppositions about who might have killed Ruslana. Individuals from her circle guarantee that Ruslana feared levels and never at any point went onto the overhang on the 9th floor of her condo. How could she choose to make such a stride? Perhaps a contender decided to manage her, who trim her hair out of jealousy? All things considered, Ruslana had a decent life, a ton of work, and fans. Besides, she had a yearly agreement with an unmistakable demonstrating organization. Her life could be so awesome. Be that as it may, as may be obvious, numerous dim insider facts were taken cover behind the model's delightful, fabulous life. Maybe her companions and family members essentially don't have any desire to comprehend the self-evident. This young lady's life just appeared to be content by all accounts. Yet, as a general rule, there was a ton of torment and languishing. Furthermore, the existence of a model didn't give her joy. Ruslana said, commonly, that she longs for an alternate calling and life. She might have trimmed her wonderful hair herself and made this deadly stride. Ruslana was covered in Moscow. She was wearing a dark, grieving dress at the burial service. She was covered in an open casket, as her face was not harmed. It was a critical misfortune, an extraordinary misfortune. All things considered, she was just 20 years of age. Furthermore, for everybody, she will perpetually stay the unceasingly youthful and delightful young lady from a fragrance business. What might have been the reason for Ruslana Korshunova's passing? Absolutely. If you enjoyed the introduction to Unfit Frame, feel free to hit the like button to show your support. Additionally, don't hesitate to leave a comment sharing your thoughts, suggestions, or any specific topics you'd love to see covered on the channel. Your engagement is valued and helps shape the content to better suit the interests of the Unfit Frame community. Thanks for being a part of the journey.